Welcome back to the Turo Hustle. All right, now most people think you can start Turo anywhere and make good money, right? And that's just not true. Some cities are completely dead and some are just oversaturated. But there's a few markets that you can still make, $1,500 to $2,500 per month per car without even trying, all right? And today, I'm going to be breaking down the best areas for Turo in 2025, right? The types of cities that perform the best and how to figure out if your market is worth getting into. All right, so please subscribe, and as always, welcome to the Turo Hustle. So number one, what makes a good Turo market, right? And before we can get into the actual examples, you need to know the factors that make a market profitable, right? You got strong tourism or business travel, more people flying in equal more bookings for you, right? Number two, you got busy airport. You're talking 3 to 10 million a year. Those are your gold mines, right? Those are the sweet spot. And number three, expensive rental cars, right? When you got Enterprise and Hertz that are charging $300 or $500 a day, guests are going straight to Turo. Now let's jump into four, right? You have limited competition, high demand, low supply. This is where you can win and win big, all right? Now on five, you got seasonal spikes. Maybe you're in a spot that, summer and winter can just go crazy and they make the entire year for you, and the price is insane if you do it correctly. Now, if your area hits 3 or maybe 4 of these, you're likely in a strong market. All right, number two, let's go over some broad categories of high-performing markets. All right, now, not all profitable Turo cities look the same. All right, now, here are 3 categories that consistently make hosts the most money, right? Because that's what we're in it for. Let's make some money here, baby. Now, category A, we're talking our outdoor / adventure travel markets. Now, these markets, they're exploding right now. They attract, they have national park visitors, road trips, right? Skiers, hikers, and families are coming out here for the big summer vacations. And this can be a real money pot for you, right? These travelers, they want the big SUVs. They want all-wheel drive. They want safe, compatible, reliable cars. That's what they're looking for. These markets bring longer trips, higher daily rates, and guests who book early and often. All right, now let's hop in to category B and check this out, right? Now, major airport hubs. Think about airports with millions and millions of passengers every year, right? Now these markets thrive because you got your business travel, right? That never stops. You got families that fly in year round. You've got events. You've got concerts, conventions, sports games, all right? The demand stays high. People book shorter, faster trips, which increases turnover and will increase your revenue. Right now, you don't always hit the crazy $300 plus daily rates, but you get rock solid consistency. You're looking at 85, 95% booked all year round, all right? Now, category C, right? Now, these are your seasonal gold mines, and these can make a lot of money quick for you, right? Now, these markets explode for 4, maybe 6 months, and then it kind of cools off and it slows down. Peak season can be, summer travel, ski season, spring break, all right? Maybe you got a major festival, for a few months, something like that. If you time it right, you can make most of your yearly income in just one season. All right, now these are perfect for the host who wants to hit it big, all right, in big numbers without worrying about year-round demand. And I'm telling you what, I really enjoy trying to find these seasonal niches. They're great. Hey, just a quick note, right? Before we jump into the example markets, real quick, if you guys want to save time and save money and grow on Turo, check the links below, check them in the description, right? I've put together tools and resources that are going to help you guys out, right? They're going to help you price your cars smarter, automate guest communication, right? You're going to help stay organized and avoid common beginner mistakes, right? Everything down there is built to make Turo easier and make you more profitable. Let's hop into number 3, right? 2 example market types, right? Example market 1, you have a mountain airport with low competition. Now, this market is a complete cheat code, right? These are great. typical characteristics of an area like this. You got maybe 2 to 3 million passengers a year, right? You got big summer tourism, ski season in the winter, right? You got tons of your outdoor travel. Rental car companies consistently sell out. Only maybe 150 to 300 Turo cars are listed. And the wild part is daily rates for SUVs can reach 200 to 350 a day in peak season, and they still get booked. These markets consistently produce some of the highest, most profitable per car numbers in the entire country. So let's hop into, example market 2, like we talked about earlier. Large airport hub with consistent demand, right? Now it's a totally different animal, but it's extremely strong in its own way. These markets, they usually offer 30 to maybe 60 million passengers a year, right? A mix of business and family, vacation travel, right? Year-round bookings, holiday spikes, right? Very profitable revenue. Now, you're not looking at the huge daily rates. You're looking at maybe $70 to $150 a day. But your occupancy, it usually sits around, let's say 85 to 95%, making, these some of the most stable markets for Turo. All right, so number 4, 3 market tests you got to do, right? Now, here are 3 tests that every new host should do, or older host should do before buying a car, right? These will give you a real sense of whether you're in a great area that can support Turo and have strong earnings. All right, so test number 1, the price ceiling test. All right, this is a great way to understand your market. Is it to check the price ceiling, the highest amount people are actually paying during different times of the year, like we talked about, right? Now, here's how you do it. Hop on Turo and go filter to your car, right? Maybe a category like SUV, sedan, hybrid, etc. Find your car. Sort by the highest price. Check 2 different sets of dates, right? You're going to want to check your peak season for your area, right? Maybe summer, ski season, holidays, etc., right? And a normal average month. You want to check those out. Now, if SUVs or similar cars in your city are booking at, say, $200 or maybe $350 a day in peak season, that's a very strong market, right? $150 to $250 a day, it's a strong market. Under $100, you're probably not in a great, high profitable area. Checking both peak and normal months helps you see whether, your market is steady year round or if it's, a seasonal gold mine. So test number 2, right? The competition test. Now, next you're going to want to see, how many active Turo cars are listed on your platform or at your area or your airport, right? Just scroll through them. Scroll through the listings. Maybe there's 100 or 200 cars, right? That is huge opportunity, low competition. Maybe you hit 200 to 500 cars. That's healthy, balanced market. Anything over 1,000 cars, you're really starting to get saturated and tougher to stand out. Supply matters just as much as, demand. Low competition means high prices and easier bookings. So let's hop into test 3, right? Maybe you've checked all those. Test 3 is the rental car reality check. Now, I love doing this one. It's great, right? This one is extremely accurate and it's super easy to run. Check what big rental companies are charging for on the same dates that maybe you're checking on that Turo earlier, which we mentioned, right? If Enterprise and Hertz and those big rental companies are renting basic SUVs for $300 to $500 a day, right? The Turo cars will boom. $180 to $250 a day, right? Strong, profitable market. $60 to $120 a day, right? You're usually talking a weaker market, right? Market with too much supply. Rental companies, right, they adjust their pricing based on real demand and real shortages. And that tells you exactly what guests are willing to pay for your area. All right, so here's some final advice for you guys, right? If you're in a great market, start with, maybe one car. Price it manually. Focus on SUVs, hybrids, the all-wheel drive vehicles, right? Now, if you're in a medium market, consider a niche or a more unique style of vehicle. Stand out to people. Great service, fast messaging. Learn your seasonal spikes. Now, if you're in a weak market, Do not force it. You don't have to force it. Sometimes moving 20 or 40 minutes closer to an airport or your area that you're focused on can completely change your profitability. Drop your city in the comments and let's discuss whether it's a weak market or a medium market or maybe even a strong market for Turo. And if you want a full video on the best cars for each type of market, comment market cars and I'll make that next video, right? I'd love to do that. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of this video. If you like this and you want more Turo knowledge, please subscribe, comment, and like, and get notified. And thanks a bunch for staying tuned to the Turo Hustle.